What's going on, guys? This is the Kentucky Prime Sports Podcast. My name is Devin Hood, here with Austin, Gibbs, Stewart, and Burke. Doing our first legitimate summer show, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
All of us back together again. Missing Tyler. He's got a big tournament coming up this weekend. Good luck to them. Hopefully that goes well. But we got a little bit of Kentucky basketball news, a little bit of Kentucky football news, and anything else we might get into. First big piece of Kentucky basketball. Otega Oweh announces he is going to return to Kentucky for his senior season. Burke, what do you think about that?
Love to hear it. I gotta say, that last 24 hours, I was a little concerned he wasn't going to come back. You know, I had said on Tuesday morning, I said I was 90% sure he's coming back. 10% being something crazy happens and he becomes a first-round pick and he stays. Wednesday morning, I hear some chatter.
Things start getting a little hairy.
I hear a little bit of chatter that, you know, a lot of teams are pretty high on him. It's like, oh man, I'm like 70% sure he's coming back now.
Right.
But
Start getting a little nervous.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a little nervous.
Yeah, especially when it came out, he was doing that, last minute.
That last minute workout was, I think, was it Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think the Nets.
Yeah. And of course, I was expecting to stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock, waiting for the announcement. Luckily, he spared us the heartbreak and announced it like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, perfect time.
And I could just breathe.
Yep. Go to bed happy.
Yeah, go to bed happy.
I mean, have you all dealt with that Louisville transfer portal or NBA draft? Deadline, waiting for a guy at midnight.
Not really.
They don't know what an NBA draft pick
I wouldn't
is.
stay up for a bum like him anyway, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, but he wasn't good enough to go. He's projected 58.
Yeah,
that's
how
running
many picks are there?
60.
Oh.
We'll chill on that for a second. But no, I mean, that is the worst. It feels like every year Kentucky deals with somebody that's, you got to wait until the next day before they even put anything out. Was it Hamidou Diallo that one year? I think he just forgot.
He forgot to submit his paperwork.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, is he coming back? Is he not? It's midnight. What are you doing? And then I think at like noon the next day, he's like, oh yeah, I guess I'm coming back. I'm like, okay, buddy. Jackson Robinson kind of did the same thing. Waited till the last minute. But Gib, what do you think about Otega coming back? What do you think that jump looks like for him senior year?
I think it's a necessary improvement for him to, want to up his chance at his draft stock. With him being a little older, he needs to perform a lot better on the college side to, get the scouts happy and be like, you're going first round or we're going to take you with our pick or whatever. I think it's a much needed move and I think it's going to help us tremendously out. Just having that, talent, having that, scoring opportunity. I think it's going to be a big help for the Cats this next season.
I do agree with that. What do you guys think? I mean, the obvious answer here is what y'all are going to say, but what does he need to improve on the most coming back senior year to make that jump to the NBA next year?
3-point shooting.
3-point, yeah, he's got to get better at shooting.
Which he started out last year pretty high from the 3-point line, and he just kind of fell off.
Yeah, he kind of fell into a different role, it almost seemed like. He was like less confident with his 3-point shooting, so he'd try more drive.
And he was more successful as a slasher as opposed to a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
And I think that just stemmed from, one, just building bad confidence with the 3-point shot while also making those tough drives, getting those and ones, whatever it may be.
It's like, hey, this is working out.
Yeah,
why even take the shot?
Yeah, I can go and get 3 down here, and it's a lot easier versus out here.
Yeah. Plus, with all the shooters they had on the team last year,
you needed somebody to cut and slash to, open up somebody on the wing.
There wasn't the need for him to step out and be a shooter because at that time you had a Kobe Brea
Jackson Robinson.
Yeah, a healthy Jackson Robinson. Lamont Butler, not a bad 3-point shooter at his time, under Mark Pope. You had options there, so it wasn't like, hey, I have to step out and shoot the 3. I'm not hitting them right now, so I can, take on that slasher role, get into the basket, get the ball in the basket that way. You guys agree with that?
I agree with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, you telling me, Austin, Louisville wouldn't take Otega Oweh right now on that roster?
Don't need him.
Don't need him. You're crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
I
mean, third best odds to win the championship next year. It's not bad.
He might be a good, 7th or 8th man off the bench.
Okay.
I will say,
all SEC could be the best player in the SEC next year. They don't want him.
I feel like he's a better player than what his NBA draft stock is.
But
then again, I don't know if waiting another year because he's about to turn 22
Yep.
in June, less than a
they don't
month.
want that.
So next year he's gonna be 23. How much can his draft stock improve? He has to have a godlike season to even get drafted? Because this is saying that like multiple major mock drafts don't even have him getting drafted. There's only one that had him going 58th.
Yeah.
And that was hope.
I think too. It was there was a money issue too. You know, a second round pick they're guaranteed what less than $1 million now.
Oh, it's not.
yeah,
it's not anything. Yeah.
At Kentucky, there is significantly more money on the table.
But it's not for improving his draft stock. It's for coming back for money. Because
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
he would have to go crazy next year.
But next year he
at
doesn't.
23 years old.
Next year he doesn't have a choice. He either goes to the draft
Yeah, okay.
or just stops playing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like he had to have came back. There's
Yeah.
no other option. What's he gonna do? Like go undrafted and then maybe get
Go-
signed to a team and make
Or go play in
the
Lithu-
minimum?
Or
Yeah.
go play in
100,000
Lithuania.
a year.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I think that was the big thing. It's like, do I come back, work on bettering myself as a player and get $3.5 million?
yeah.
Or do I go and take the chance, maybe get signed to a G League deal, make $100,000, be in the NBA?
Yeah.
You give me $3.5 million,
I'm taking the money.
I'll be in college all day.
Yeah.
If he was if multiple places had him projected like first round pick, then maybe you
Then,
go ahead
yeah.
and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's like your only shot at the NBA. I think next year he might be cooked unless
He's done.
he has to average like well over 20
Well,
or something like that and just
Johnny
be
Brown.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true too.
I think
he's
a
gonna have
big-
to be amazing.
Yeah.
Too old, dude.
Well,
a
he's
big
al-
part of that, too, is just like what the NBA is moving to. They're not looking for that type of player.
Just shooters.
No.
Yeah.
shooters.
They just want shooters.
Everybody's a shooter in the league now.
Yeah, that's like Kobe Bryant. He was projected, a higher draft prospect than Otega Oweh the whole
He's a
time.
better shooter.
Yeah, he's a better shooter. Is he a better basketball player?
No.
Probably not.
Can't play defense.
Not on I was gonna say not on defense.
Yeah, but what is the
Oh
NBA
wait,
looking
no,
for?
he does play some defense.
Play some pretty lockdown defense.
Yeah, I mean Kyle Korver. What'd he make his living on in the NBA?
Yeah, that's true.
He
Threes.
stood in the corner and shot
Yeah.
threes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about Mike Miller.
Ray Allen.
Once he got up in age a little bit, Mike Miller, he ran down the court, stood there, and shoot threes.
Wet with it though.
Wet with it.
Yeah.
Did y'all see? Speaking of Mike Miller, did y'all see a video of him not too long ago? Just
Came up
absolutely
with
cooking.
Grizzlies.
Yes,
Cooked every starter on the team.
like nasty.
Yeah.
How old is he? He's got to be,
He's probably like 40.
42, 45, something like
He
that.
is 43.
Yeah. And I mean, he was just looked like he was in his prime out there.
Oh, he's hooping.
Yeah, he was. It kind of reminds me of the old Brian Scalabrine. I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me.
Yep.
It's like no matter how bad these guys look in the NBA,
They'll give you buckets.
yeah,
They're still pros.
still professionals. Speaking of professionals, though, Eric Wolford,
Don't get me started.
Kentucky offensive line coach, gets a big pay raise this year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me go out and do the worst job possible at my position. Have players sneak off of the field and go get a hot dog at the concession stand.
During a losing game,
Almost kill the quarterback and give me a raise
Brock Vandegrift doesn't play football anymore
because the
of how
offensive line
bad
was so
that-
bad.
And we give this man a contract extension and a raise. Gib, tell me where that makes sense.
Well, see, there's a problem with that. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense at all.
Stuart, you got any ideas where that makes sense?
I don't know. Does he
Austin?
do recruiting?
Well, okay, so that's the thing. Everybody's like, he's a great recruiter.
Really?
And that's great.
Kentucky-
But the guy you brought in is at the daggone hot dog stand during the game.
But the recruit builds hype. Like if Kentucky gets any top 300 recruits, they're all linemen.
I
They get the linemen. I don't know how.
I know what justified it. What makes it all make sense. He's Stoops' friend.
Yeah, they're big buddies.
They're big buddies.
I don't know why they're big buddies. Do you know? I mean,
I have no idea why.
do you know what he did to his Gib? I don't know if you remember this. He was our offensive line coach previously, once upon a time. He's out recruiting some kid in Alabama. He's in the rental car that Mark Stoops in UK paid for. He goes and sees old Nick Saban down in Tuscaloosa and jumps train in the middle of the night and goes to Alabama.
Really?
Yes. He screwed us over. And the guy he was down to Alabama recruiting, he took to Alabama with him. Didn't even come. He's down there recruiting him for Kentucky. He gets him to flip to Alabama and then goes to be Alabama's offensive line.
He gets
coach.
That is
recruited
crazy.
himself.
Yeah. And then he gets fired because the offensive line sucked. Nick Saban's like, I ain't putting up with it.
Really?
See,
Yeah.
that's a smart move by Nick Saban. Why can't Mark Stoops see that? Don't give him a raise.
Well,
Fire him.
I guess he does get the recruits then.
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, he was offensive line coach for Nick Saban for a year. Gets fired. Guess where he comes back?
right
The
back.
daggone
That's
University of Kentucky.
How do they let him come back after that?
I
That's
mean,
so crazy.
but
Mark Stoops
I-
is soft.
That's
They
like
named him.
Louisville hiring like Chris Mack again or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some
but
weird,
worse. I mean, I think that would even be worse.
How
Like,
many,
that is
how many
crazy.
staff members have we had do that?
one at least, and that's too many. Like
Well, what was the offensive coordinator?
Liam Cohen.
Yeah,
Oh,
left and
Liam.
came back 3-4
He
times.
did, didn't he?
Yeah, Liam Cohen.
But
One
like-
year, awesome year. Goes to the Rams. Like, okay, he's he was with the Rams before. He's going to be their offensive coordinator. Everybody knew Sean McVay actually wasn't going to give that role up
Of what play call?
of play caller. But he's the offensive coordinator in title. Then he comes back to Kentucky, then goes down to Tampa Bay.
And they have a
and says
great
he's
year.
going. Says he's going
And
to
then now
plant,
he's going to the Jets.
No,
It says he's going to plant his roots in Lexington. Enrolls his kids in school in Lexington.
Said he's going to plant his roots, Stuart.
Last time I
What?
checked, when you plant
Yes.
roots
But
there.
instead he went to Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Last time I checked, when you plant roots, they don't go nowhere. They're in the ground forever.
Depends
I
what
mean,
kind
you
of
can
roots.
repot it.
He's
He's
repotted.
repotted.
Plants a lot.
He's a farmer.
How many games Jacksonville win this year?
3.
Jacksonville? I don't know. I don't 3. Yeah, that's probably
That's
realistic.
pretty
Who's their quarterback?
Trevor Lawrence.
Is he still
He's
in the
dead.
hospital?
He is dead, Stuart.
He changed helmets. I don't know if you've seen that.
Does
He
it
switched
better?
up. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
a
made-
concussion like safety helmet.
Is it
now.
made of
It's not like
steel?
Not a guardian cap?
it's not a guarding cap, but it's actually a helmet that's better for it. So
Okay.
he's apparently taking it serious, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I
he,
probably did after I died.
Yeah, he literally had like 2 concussions in the last 2 years that like really screwed him up. So I don't know. They might do all right. They can't do worse than like what Doug Peterson or whatever was doing with them.
yeah.
They can't do
Honestly, no.
worse.
I would say like 4 to 6 wins.
With Travis Hunter there, I mean,
Bum.
he might be kind of a bum, but
Have you all seen that he's? I don't know if it's true or not. Just what I'm seeing on Twitter X. Apparently, he's pissing off a lot of teammates.
yeah, because he kind of like acts like he's in high school and he's like
He's a
really
little goofy,
yeah.
and he's out there TikTok dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see the video of him
I seen
dancing
that.
at his wedding?
No, I did not
No.
see that one. I seen him
Dude.
dancing at practice.
Yeah, I seen him like
Jeez.
wide receivers are lining up to run some routes and he's back there dancing
Yeah. I
and
don't-
like
he's
everybody's
whipping
getting
and
ticked
nay-naying.
off.
Well,
Yeah.
his problem is he thinks he's him.
It's all about the cameras and show
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not him.
Like you weren't even the best wide receiver. You weren't even like top 15 wide receivers
No.
in the draft. I don't think. Like
If he didn't play both positions, he would have went second round, third round.
I don't know. He was a decent receiver. I'll say that. Maybe not 50. Maybe top 10. But like, there's no way he's better than like a lot of these others.
And who is Brian Thomas Jr.? Is he their
Yeah.
their main guy?
Yeah, and like
Apparently, he
Ron,
was ticked.
oh really?
Yeah.
He's kind of like a low key guy. He's like
Yeah.
a sneaky guy who's actually like a solid talent. Like he was a rookie last year and he's decent.
Yeah.
And I
Apparently,
can see he's about his business. He's not about like TikToking and all this stuff.
Yeah, he wants to play
So
football.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of just a dog.
A football
But-
player wanting to play football. What's
They
crazy
went
about that?
4-13.
sounds about right.
I
I could see 5 and 12.
I don't see any
Yeah.
improvement.
No, I mean they're not gonna like make the playoffs.
No.
Sneak in as a wild
Yeah,
card.
I would say their high end is 5 wins, maybe.
maybe
depending on how
4 to
easy-
6.
Maybe
They
straight,
are in
straight
the
to
worst
6.
conference ever existed, so they literally have 6 like gimme games on
Yeah.
there. You know, you got the Titans, Texans, and Colts.
But then the Titans is
I
like
mean,
now they went out and
they're-
got old Cam Ward, right?
But it's going to be the same thing they had with
Yeah.
Will Levis.
they're still bumming.
They're going to put a rookie quarterback behind a very bad offensive line. He's going to get beat all to hell.
Is their offensive line coach Eric Wolford?
He might as well be.
But
But he's going to get beat to hell, and then there's going to be the same old Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who else is in their division? What are you saying?
Colts and Texans. And Colts don't even know their quarterback yet. Anthony Richardson did so bad. Now I guess Anthony Richardson's backup, Daniel Jones. So it's either Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. Trevor Lawrence is better than both of them combined.
Yeah.
And then you have C.J. Stroud. I guess they were decent, but C.J. kind of fell off.
CJ,
Yeah.
he had a
Sophomore
really good
slump.
freshman
Yeah.
slump.
season, dude.
But he kind of fell off, and the Texans, like, they're not that crazy. I guess they're decent, but, like,
Yeah.
it's nothing.
They're a very
Insane.
like if you say they're gonna go 8 and 8.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
7 to 9, 8 and 8, 9 and 7. It's one of those three.
So, Jags can sneak out some victories.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do worse with Liam Cohen, they probably need to fire him first year.
And I mean, he may quit first year and go somewhere else.
He probably will. He was a little off already.
Yeah.
He'll just go be an offensive coordinator for somewhere like the Cardinals or something.
Yeah.
University of Kentucky.
Yeah. Stoops brings him back.
Just gets such an impressive resume.
Yeah.
And then comes back and makes like triple what he was making
Oh my
the
god.
first or second time there.
What would be funny is if Jacksonville does win 8-9 games, maybe sneaks into the playoffs potentially as a wild card, and then he gets like one of the big top 5 coaching jobs in the NFL.
That'd be tough.
No, I mean, could you imagine that? Like, what would be? Who is somebody that's traditionally good that maybe haven't been kind of slumping the last few years?
That would lose
That would
their
be
job.
Yeah, that would be looking for a coach. Maybe New England.
Possibly.
They just got a new coach,
Did they just get a new one?
Mike Vrabel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And
So in theory, they're good.
yeah,
Colts.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, Jacksonville's like bottom of the barrel of coaching jobs.
Right.
I
So
mean,
it's like
it's only up.
8-9 wins this year. Something that everybody's like excited about moving forward. And he's like, actually, I'm going to Green Bay.
Yeah.
Or, something crazy.
I hope
Not Green.
They
No,
I
no.
hope not.
Not Green
They're
Bay,
they're
but
doing too well. Yeah,
Does he hit the trifecta and stay in Florida? Hit Miami?
I was thinking about Miami.
I don't know. They love.
they like Mike McDaniel.
Yeah,
right?
they like him too much.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, they only did bad because
Two of-
two is concussed.
He died
Whatever.
3
died.
times.
and
on
then the
that
whole
He's
field.
switching
team
up
sucks.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he got offended the last time.
Yeah,
he
he's just-
Somebody asked me, he got ticked off. That's probably the CTE talking.
Yeah.
He's just gonna wear. He's just gonna wear a gladiator helmet from
That's
now
just
on.
the extra voice in his head. Like, no, you're not wearing that.
You're
cap.
fine.
I'm coming out.
You're fine.
The Chris Benoit theme song is just playing in his head all the time.
Where's the bow flags?
He's just looking for one. He's a danger to society, man.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised he has not retired.
Yeah.
I think he's looking for just that medical retirement.
So medically
That guarantee
speaking, he
for
probably should
a
retire
contract.
last year.
That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
They were
because
waiting on a doctor's call.
and they're like, no, he can still play, and he's like, I guess I gotta still
Yeah.
play. And then he like went and head first trying to tackle like a linebacker that picked off one of his balls, and like he's dead again. Good job, guys.
Yeah. 'cause
Thanks a lot.
Literally, he wouldn't get his salary unless a doctor said that he is not good to play football anymore.
Yeah,
That's the
he
only way
has
he got
to
his
be-
contract paid out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to get, like,
Otherwise,
medically
yeah.
retired, or like he
Yeah.
doesn't get like any of the guarantee or any of that.
The doctor said he was good, so he can't retire or he doesn't get his bag. So he has
He
to
just
keep
goes
playing.
up there first play next year and gets killed again.
Yeah. It's
No, he's still
begging
good.
a
He's still
doctor.
good.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
fine. He's fine. He's
It's
just
like,
sitting on the side like, what do I got to do? Well, what is it? You have to play so many games in the NFL to get like a pension,
Yeah.
right? Because there was somebody that they were talking about last season that was had been on practice squad for like 8 seasons, and he got cut, but he needed like one more season to get his pension or whatever. I'm not really sure who that was. Practice squad. I ain't keeping up with all that.
I really don't keep up with that.
But I remember seeing it on Instagram. ESPN did a little feel-good story
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I never knew the rules behind that.
Like, but does that change for like starters?
Has to.
Yeah,
You have to play so many games in some of these other contracts. Or
Yeah.
you have to.
Like Andrew,
there's a lot of
Andrew, look,
stuff.
how many seasons did he play? Not very many.
not
4,
many.
5,
Five?
like 5 or 6 maybe.
All right, so is it like reserve status in the military versus being active duty? 'Cause,
Right? Is it like
active,
your
you got-
games count for more?
Yeah, because like active, like you think you have to be in 20 on the old retirement system, and then you could get a full pension. But I think if you were like reserve,
It was like
It was
25 or something, right?
yeah, it was like 0.75 days like counted up, so like you had to go 25 years.
Yeah.
Or
Each
something like
day of reserve time didn't count as like a full
Yeah,
day
it was
of
like-
active duty.
Like a half day or something, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah. It's an excellent point. We'd probably know these answers if we were in the NFL.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah.
I was
We
close.
could have been, but
I mean, we could probably come out of retirement right
But
now.
this bum knee of mine, I'm telling
Something slight. Just give it to him.
You
real
stole my
quick.
line, Bert.
we took academics too seriously. Or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, if we could have gone back, I mean, name, image, likeness, it wasn't a thing when we were around.
No.
We'd have been raking in the bucks. No, I mean, speaking of, playing ball, though, we did play at the Armory not too long ago. And like we were talking about, we ain't no way we could have played ball nowhere.
No,
We
no.
talk way too much smack
Oh, for
to
sure.
each other. Now, I mean, imagine if we're out there in the heat of the moment.
Get some real chirping going on.
Yeah. Somebody in here probably would have fought somebody.
Oh,
Probably.
for sure. Yeah.
Wonder who that would be.
Ain't no telling, man. Ain't no telling. We'd have got kicked off the court before the first quarter was over.
Be the first half.
I mean, that'd
Well, I
probably be
don't
for
know.
the best because after that, none of us could really breathe.
Yeah.
They had to go out and
Well-
bang quick.
You gotta have that one guy that just comes in and roughs people up a little bit.
Just, yeah.
Get some fouls out there, like get them shook a little bit,
Let them know we ain't playing soft today, boys.
Yeah.
Draymond Hood, you can somehow even say.
Yeah.
We should have done that, actually. Set the tone early.
Yeah. Just go check somebody,
Yeah, that was the problem, Bert. Wasn't nobody out there setting the tone.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Had we have known.
Quick elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have a presence.
Yeah.
Dot him up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, the Ron Artest,
Mouse in the
he couldn't
palace.
play ball. He was there for presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, he didn't do anything ever.
What about, the Ron Artest to the Meta World Peace Change. What a time to be
Yeah,
alive.
I mean, the man
crazy.
was saying he wanted peace and then elbowed James Harden in the head.
Then also
And-
ran up in the stand in the crowd.
I said
and
he was the
got
reason for
somebody.
the mouse in the palace in
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
I mean,
He laid on the scorer's table.
Yeah.
I mean, Gandhi said, you gotta be a little violent, right? Or am I just?
Did Gandhi say that?
Dude, that video of James Harden, he makes his neck go into an L shape.
Oh, yeah. He hit him.
He,
Was he reared back?
he
like
reared
that?
back, yeah. It was nasty.
Yeah, it was a pretty hard elbow.
But that didn't feel good.
But the tone was set.
The tone was
Tone
set.
Yeah.
was set.
You're not coming in the middle, or you're not standing anywhere near me.
No, I'm not driving
Get
out.
away
What-
from me.
All it was an inbounds pass.
You're not inbounding the ball ever again.
Never again.
I wonder if did they win that game?
Don't think so.
No.
That was prime Harden. Harden probably gave him 60.
Probably triple double.
That's back,
Yeah, on his
that's back,
head.
that's back when he was about 20 pounds lighter.
He was a hooper, dude. Prime Harden was.
Yeah.
It was actually wild. Whenever I was in the Marines, I had a corporal that went to Arizona State, and he played basketball with James Harden
No,
No.
that's
yeah,
wild.
at Arizona State. He said he was the best basketball player he's ever seen in his life.
No, game.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it
he
makes
probably-
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still one of the best offensive players in the NFL or NBA I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I saw a big debate on Twitter. Prime Harden or Prime Wade? That's a no-brainer.
Oh,
Prime
So
Harden.
hard.
Harden.
Yeah.
that's way too easy. Especially in today's NBA.
D Wade was like
Yeah.
Yeah.
above average at best.
Yeah, D-Wade
Yeah.
wasn't all that.
He wasn't like that special guy.
If Dwayne Wade didn't have a counterpiece,
If he didn't have
it didn't
Shaq,
work.
he wouldn't
Yeah,
won a
he's-
championship.
If he didn't have
Oh my
LeBron.
gosh, wouldn't won a championship.
No.
Yeah. If you want 20 points a game and 5-6 assists, Dwayne Wade's good
That's
for
your
it.
guy.
But if
Yeah.
you want 60, 10, and 10,
He's not your guy.
Yeah.
call James Harden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. No Shaq, no LeBron. Dwayne Wade, what's his career look like?
He dunked on Bergeau.
He did.
That's all I know.
And, probably the most iconic Dwayne Wade pitcher, he just threw the ball up.
It's just
He
him
was-
going.
It's
"Woo."
just him outstretched
Third up to
arms.
LeBron.
That's
was
LeBron throwing it
Best
down.
player to touch a basketball. Would y'all,
Yeah.
Would y'all disagree with that?
LeBron? I disagree with that completely.
You're crazy.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan
Can't be
was
beat.
playing against painters.
He wasn't playing against painters.
This guy got off
He
work at
wasn't
the bank.
playing.
Now he's out here dribbling a basketball.
He wasn't playing in the 40s.
He's playing in the 90s. There's still decent talent in the 90s.
Name 5.
Bert, don't let me down here, Bert.
All right,
Better
I gotta
than
think.
five.
I gotta think here.
The year he
I
won
can
the
name a few.
championship.
96.
Which time? He won 6 different times.
Any of them combined, name 5 opponents.
All right, let me think. I'm drawing a blank.
Charles
You put me on
Barkley.
the spot.
Charles-
Charles Barkley,
Carl Malone.
Karl
Let's
Malone,
get on
John Stockton.
John
Sherwin
Stockton.
Williams website and look at their previous employees.
Employees of the month. No, well, so yeah, we'll go Charles Barkley, Carl Malone, John Stockton.
Were Bird and Magic in there still?
No, they weren't there.
They were
That was
all
like end of their career.
end of their career.
That's 2 more. That could be technically.
A young Kobe.
Young Kobe, Allen
That he said he
Iverson.
won
Yeah.
the championship against.
Championship against.
So that would
Who did he
be
beat?
Charles Barkley,
Yeah.
Karl Malone, John Stockton.
There's also like a Trailblazers team or something he beat, right?
Would that be
Something
Clyde
like-
Drexler? Would he be
Yeah, it has to be.
old Clyde on
Yep.
there?
Was Tracy McGrady playing at that time?
Tracy McGrady was in the league. I don't think he ever, at that point. I don't know. Who did Jordan win championships against here, boys? I know the Jazz and the
I'll give
Suns.
you a team. 96, he beat the Supersonics.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Was he around back then?
Yeah, he played for the Supersonics.
In 96?
I don't think
Yeah.
he played in 96.
I think Ray Allen got drafted in 96.
I think I drafted like 90. Whoa. Somebody get
Rookie Ray Allen, I think I got his card back here.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, boys, I'm looking at the roster. I recognize 2 names.
Ray Allen?
No.
Really? That's
Oh.
tragic.
Ray Allen was drafted in
97.
96
96.
96.
Oh.
to the Timberwolves.
But
What?
That's what this is telling
he
me.
must have got traded then.
No, he didn't go to the Supersonics until.
03.
Okay.
When was he drafted?
He was drafted in 96 by the
But
Timberwolves.
But what round?
First round, 5th overall pick
Oh,
by the
wow.
Timberwolves. Then in 96 to 03 was on the Bucks. And then
Our-
from 03 to 07
Yeah.
That's
Supersonics.
right, yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
the Bucks that we were thinking about.
Yep. They're both green.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jesus.
Supersonics. We weren't,
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, who's the 2 on there you recognize?
First round, 5th overall.
Sean Kemp
Yeah.
Nasty. Sean Kemp.
and Gary Payton.
The glove.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 96. Who? What
Was
is,
Tim- was,
Have you ever
uh,
heard of Vincent Askew?
who's not heard of Vincent Askew?
What position?
Sounds
Small
like point
forward.
guard to me.
Small forward.
No.
You're
Point forward.
thinking Devin Askew.
Frank Britkowski.
Nastiest
Nasty.
player I've
That
ever
is a
seen.
center and a half. He's 7'1".
White, redheaded.
Was
Very close. He's a forward/center, 6'9".
was Tim Duncan playing
Well,
in the
see,
90s?
6'9" back then
Tim-
is like 7'1" today.
Yeah, no 7-footers anywhere in sight
Yeah.
when Jordan was
Did Tim
doing
Duncan get
layups
drafted in
on-
the 90s?
Who?
Tim Duncan? 96?
Ooh, yeah.
That was a
But I
loaded
don't know
draft
if-
class.
I don't know if they.
They probably, well, I don't know. Tim
Spurs
Duncan,
didn't-
David Robinson.
David
Ooh,
Robinson.
the Admiral.
They had a
Yeah.
nice little
They
duo
in
going.
about,
98 or something like that. They
yeah.
were good.
About-
They won they won a championship in 99, right?
It was 98 or 99, right?
Bulls won 98.
Jordan.
That was
Back to
like
back 96, 97.
Yeah.
So they didn't
Fine.
win in 98.
All right.
No, they didn't win.
Can you name?
They
any
won in
players-
99.
Can you name any players from the '97 Michael Jordan championship?
Who did they play?
Steve Kerr was on the Bulls.
No.
Again.
Oh, opponents I couldn't
What,
take.
was it Trailblazers? Who they beat?
Jazz.
So that's
Oh, that was
Karl
Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Who's the guy that Jordan pushed on the push off last second shot? That ringing any bells? That's the big debate on one of, I don't know, it might have not been the 96, 97, whatever, but they say Michael Jordan pushed off on that last second shot.
Who was it?
I don't know.
I do recognize 4 players from this team:
Was
Stockton, Malone.
Stockton Malone, Jeff Hornacek,
Okay.
commentator, and Greg Foster. I think is he a ref? Is he a ref?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know the referee's
Yeah.
name.
In our defense here, boys, we were,
We know.
I wasn't
3
even
years
born.
old.
I wasn't
Yeah.
even born. 96 was not even a thought.
oh, not, yeah, I mean, I was a baby.
We still know at least 2 to 3 stars from each team that he played against. I don't know anybody else on the Bulls besides 2 to 3 stars.
Scottie Pippen.
Michael Jordan.
Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
And then it's like we only know
Steve
Kerr
Kerr.
Steve
because
Kerr.
he was a coach. It wasn't because he was good.
Right.
Same thing with, the other ones.
Was. No, I'm not saying that. Never mind.
Was
Make myself sound stupid real quick.
was Vince Carter
See?
playing around that time, or was he later on?
Vince Carter was also drafted in '96. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, he was.
Dude, what? Talk about a loaded draft class, real
Yeah.
quick.
Vince Carter,
That draft
Vince
class.
Carter.
Tim Duncan,
Tim Duncan,
Ray
Ray
Allen.
Allen Iverson,
AI,
Kobe Bryant.
stocked
Bro.
up draft class.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
That's
I'll
who
find
Jordan
out.
played against.
Moral of my
Argument.
argument:
Oh,
you could put who's the first guy that comes to your mind today's NBA when you think decent role player guy? Just name a name.
Decent role player. I don't watch
Mike
that.
Miller.
like today,
Oh, right
Today?
this moment.
Role player right now.
or like anybody,
Tobias Harris.
he'd drop 60 on Jordan's head.
No, he wouldn't.
He's averaging like
Okay,
27 against.
You
guys
think
today.
you think Tyler Hero can drop 60 on Michael Jordan?
I would put everything I own on it.
You're
Yeah.
correct. You're
I would put
correct.
everything I own on it.
Jordan is so much more athletic than those type of guys.
All I'm saying is Jordan would do a little layup, a little reverse layup. It would be on 7 commercials. He'd have 2 movies come out. Donovan Mitchell did it twice.
I mean, he did have
in
two,
one-
like
in one-
Mike too.
in one series.
I will
Yeah.
say, like, Jordan
Have you-
was
Didn't even make the news.
Did they make a Like James movie? No, they didn't. They made a Like Mike movie twice.
We talked about this last night, actually. We had the same argument last night. And my argument was Michael Jordan created all that stuff. So he dribbled behind the back one time, and the announcers, they almost like
Died.
died
Yeah.
off of it. They're like, what? He just went around his body. Holy.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes. They've never seen it before. He created it.
Yeah. That
I would
is
say-
true.
So you gotta
developed
give him
everything.
some respect.
I respect him.
And
I'm
then,
just
like,
saying
all
he's
these
not
guys
the best
today-
player.
He's the GOAT.
have been perfecting these skills over and over.
Right.
And
Something
Go
else
ahead.
too.
I don't know.
How much money does LeBron spends on his health every year? Ballpark.
that's true.
Probably.
Couple million.
Probably.
Michael
Jordan's
Jordan was
acting
too
like
busy
John Daly.
gambling, smoking, and drinking to worry about his body, and yet he still won 6 championships.
But I
His
mean,
fingers.
you could also argue that he didn't have to be as peak performance and
Because he didn't. Because why? Gabe?
because
who was
the
he
talent
playing?
wasn't as
Who's he playing
intense.
against?
Because you think
A
now, like,
drywaller.
you gotta think all these guys
Isaiah Thomas.
are
Isaiah
a
Thomas?
lot better.
Yeah, they
Big
beat the
men
Pistons.
are driving, dribbling, and they're taking off from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Fun
All I'm
fact,
saying
yeah.
is, you put a guy like we said last night, Halliburton. Halliburton gives Michael Jordan 60 on
And
his head.
You're crazy.
That's not even an argument.
Real quick fun fact though, Michael Jordan is the reason the bad boy Pistons broke up.
He beat him.
Yeah, they couldn't
They couldn't beat him.
beat him.
So you're saying you take Michael Jordan's best team he's ever had?
How many teams has LeBron James broke up? Indirectly.
I mean,
He did bring
Like
up
my-
the Warriors.
yeah.
Okay, the Warriors.
The greatest.
He's broke
team
up more
ever.
teams.
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
So if you
73
put
and
that
9.
Warriors team up against Michael Jordan's best team he's ever had, you can take all of his teams and put the best 5 on it. That Warriors team beats them 4-0.
That may be true.
Not even
Wait,
Yeah.
close.
what was that argument?
You could take Michael Jordan's best 4 teammates he's had in his whole life, whole career, high
And you're
school,
saying
college,
like
pro.
Steph, Clay, and Draymond would sweep him?
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
they beat him by 30 every single
Yeah.
game. Wouldn't be close.
I don't think
Michael Jordan might average 14, 2, and 6.
I don't.
But then
I don't.
again-
I don't think they sweep them.
Oh, they sweep
They
him.
also swept the Cavs one time too. I think
Yeah,
They also blew a 3-1 lead against the Cavs too.
they did.
they had to ban one of their players though.
You could take the Cavs team that came back. They'd beat Jordan 4-0.
No, I don't think they did. I will disagree with you on that.
And he also said the same thing about Kobe because I pressed him about it. My argument was if you think like Michael Jordan is a bum for playing against nobodies, then like you got to think Kobe did too because that competition's not near the same as now.
Kobe played against Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen against Boston.
Yeah,
You're calling them bums?
I'm not calling them bums, but the Warriors
Rondo.
team at 4-0.
And Rajon Rondo.
Warriors team at 4-0.
like the talent has just gotten better and better and better over the years. It's
And the
hard
thing-
to
I won't
say-
argue with that.
Are we? Hold on. Are we?
10 years from now, we'll be saying the same thing.
Are we going to say the talent is that much better, or just the evolution of the game
That
has
changed a lot.
Yeah.
I
The
would say,
game has
both.
changed.
I would say both definitely, but the talent, dude, like you can look at the 9th guy on a bench, and he's more athletic than anybody Michael Jordan ever played.
I mean, just think about basketball.
that's kinda
when we
fair.
first started watching to now, like how much it's changed and like how quick the game's getting, how how easy shots are going up, and how nobody plays defense because offense is just so much better that
But
it's
yeah,
hard to
no,
like
that's-
defend against.
That's the thing.
They're trying to play defense,
But
but
yeah,
the offense is just
if-
too good.
If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went to the 1996 and played ball, he would average 5 points a game because you can't get free throws
Yeah.
from just falling down back then.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
the
agree with
thing
that.
though.
But
Because
if you
there's a difference.
If you put somebody pure like Steph Curry, He might average.
Yeah, he would
40.
average. Yeah,
That's what. Yeah.
He
he
might
would average
he
40.
might average
SGA,
50.
the MVP of the league right now, wouldn't average 10 points in Jordan's era.
No.
I would almost
This kind of
bet
wraps
my
around
life on it.
back to our first conversation about Otega Oweh. So I'm glad you brought up Steph Curry. If you took Steph Curry in his prime, what, 2015?
Sure.
15, 16.
2015-16 Steph Curry versus 96 Michael Jordan. I think Steph Curry wins one-on-one probably 24-3.
Yeah, I think Curry embarrassed him.
I don't think so.
Because
Jordan will be trying to drive in with a layup.
And Steph can't guard him.
All you got to do is barely play defense.
But what are 2s to 3s?
Yeah.
yeah, like
Jordan
if
chips him
Steph
up,
Curry
boom, mouthpiece.
if Steph
Every
Curry starts
possession.
with the ball, I don't know if Michael Jordan gets it.
I think
No.
he might. Yeah,
No,
21-0.
I don't think he gets it.
He might be like, I mean, he's getting up 6-0 before Michael's like, you can shoot from back there.
Yeah.
They didn't do that in my day.
No,
Why does he talk
they
like
didn't.
that?
That's what they talk back in
Talk
those
about you talk
days, dude.
Norwegian?
They had that twang in their voice.
Yeah. Oh, I've never
Yeah.
seen that before, gentlemen. Have y'all seen the video of the guy? Y'all know he's on like TikTok and stuff. Biggie, like
I've
Cook
not.
the Book guy.
I've not seen that.
He does a video and he's at a baseball field and he's acting like Babe Ruth. He's like, "Give me your best."
Holy smokes!
And then it's he's got a mustache on, so he's Paul Skeens, and he's like, "How fast does this boy throw him now?" He's like, 105. He's like, 105. I'm just gonna get back into my time machine now. And he steps up to the plate and he catches him looking. He's like, "There was a bee above my head. That's why I stepped out of the box." Might be something like that.
Maybe.
I mean, think about Wilt Chamberlain, 7'8", whatever, however tall they say he was.
Scoring 100.
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Steph
But
Curry pulls
no one
up from
was there
half
to see
court.
it.
Yeah. Will ain't guarding him.
Steph Curry hits a little floater. He's
Yeah.
like, I've
Yeah.
never seen that.
If
Yeah.
Just keeps reaching up for it.
If Wilt was in today's league, he is like probably like a little bit worse than like an Andre Drummond.
I was actually about to compare him to Andre Drummond.
I mean, that's probably pretty fair.
Yeah.
With a Victor Wembanyama body type.
Yeah. Wilt would not.
But he really
average-
wasn't that big. He was massive for back then, but I think he was like 7'1",
Yeah.
which is like average center height nowadays.
Wilt would not average 12.
No.
That's outstanding.
Drummond would grab a board on his head.
Yeah.
You gotta think Wilt Chamberlain, he'd be a good
Draymond Green would grab a
That's
board
crazy.
on his
Draymond
head.
Green would lock him
He'd
down.
lock him up.
Yeah.
he'd be a good presence piece though. You go out there, Wilt, we need an elbow to the dome.
Yeah. Back in my day, we just hit him and got the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one was there to see it or record it. Crazy.
Yeah.
But 2 years before they were recording his game footage. You're telling me you couldn't record where he dropped
Dude
100?
drops 100 and you just throw that in the garbage.
Yeah.
That's
No,
all
that-
twos too, ain't it?
Yeah, there was no 3-point line there.
He
Long
took,
two
yeah,
era.
it was like 60
Yeah,
field
60
goal,
or 70 shots.
60 like shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
kind
Those
of
are
a
Devin
poor
Booker
percentage.
numbers.
I mean, if you take 70 shots and you're the best player in the world at that point, yeah, you are playing against plumbers.
He
Brother,
definitely
you should
was
have
like,
140.
Yeah, easily.
I bet they got paid like $1,000 a year.
Oh, they had to have side jobs.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You
They
just got 100 dropped on you. Here's $20. I'll see you at the steel mill tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call up my toilet the next day.
Yeah. Gosh.
You know, I just brought up Devin Booker. That's another guy that dropped 60 on Jordan's head.
I don't think so. I really don't.
So Austin's saying LeBron James best basketball player of all time.
Oh, yeah.
As of right now.
I
As
really
of now. I would put...
like I see the argument, but where do you count? I mean, yeah, longevity and like solid performance, yeah, LeBron. But then it's like I wouldn't pick LeBron over prime KD.
No.
Or like there's better players
Yeah.
than LeBron in certain given times. Of like I would
Yeah.
take this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could argue that, you could argue, I could argue Michael Jordan in top 5.
I mean, I don't know about that.
In what today's day and age right now, or just full on career?
Like,
Because if you're counting like how they would fare in today's world, then yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
If you put Michael Jordan's prime
like back
in
in
today's world,
his era, sure, he's the best player to touch basketball.
I would
But
say
all time,
So who would you put in
That's
your top
true.
5 then that you wouldn't put Jordan in?
that I would pick right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
LeBron, KD, Steph. I'd take Harden over
Harden would drop 70 on his
Yeah.
head.
Harden would give him a 70-point triple-double. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan hits a one reverse layup and gets in a commercial.
How do you think How do you think LeBron James plays in like the late 80s though?
Dominant.
LeBron might average 90.
They'd kill him for witchcraft.
Yeah. They would think he's a...
They would have him, like...
Burned at the stake.
Yeah.
Yeah, or cement, block to his leg, throw him a river.
Yeah.
Because it was so, like, otherworldly.
Yeah.
You don't think Bill Laimbeer would come in and just lay him out?
Well, you see, like, LeBron...
LeBron's a big dude.
He's
Le-
massive.
Yeah, but LeBron's also a big crybaby too. He whines every time he
He's
gets
learned how to
touched.
use the system.
If he played back then, I don't think he'd be as much of a crybaby. He'd be like
You think he'd be
classic
hard,
Olympic LeBron
Yeah,
James,
dude.
where he drives straight
Yeah.
at your head.
puts it on it?
And, I mean, if you're not getting out of the way, you're getting dunked on.
Yeah, he's literally, like... The Bulls' center was, what, Dennis Rodman?
Yeah,
Or
you're
was that
telling
their
me
power?
you're telling me a 6'5" Dennis Rodman is stopping this
Dennis
guy.
Rodman's literally like 6'7", 200 pounds. LeBron is 6'9", 250. He would
Yeah.
truck stick Dennis Rodman
Yeah.
as a point guard
He'd teabag him
in
while
the
he was
post. Dude, it'd be
dunking
the
on him.
easiest thing ever.
Yeah, he
The
might-
tallest
he might
person
drop
back
70
then
on
was
him.
like 6'9".
Yeah.
Like,
and then you're
and
telling
they couldn't
me,
dribble.
You're telling me LeBron gets moved to point, let's say. You're telling me a 5'11" John Stockton is getting in this guy's way. Nah.
All right, so let me ask you. Okay, I like where we're going with this. What if we bring Larry Bird to today's game?
Larry Bird averages 12.
Really?
Yeah.
I
See,
think
Larry-
Larry Bird is better fit for today's game than he was even then.
Yeah,
I think
feel
Larry Bird is like
but-
a.
and
No.
get better with
You're-
like separation and kind of get.
I feel like Larry Bird is like a nastier, taller Steph Curry.
Oh, dude.
All right,
Larry
I will
Bird
say,
was. I mean,
Larry-
he was a shooter.
Larry Bird
was goated.
Yeah, he's goated with it.
but in
At
today's
his time.
and he created half the moves people were doing, like behind the backs, jumping, running down the lane, just all this other crazy stuff. He did on a casual night,
Yeah.
and it was crazy to see. But now everybody does that.
Yeah.
So the playing field's even now, and they're more athletic to you, and they can shoot better than you, and they're also doing behind the back between the leg passes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would average 12.
I don't think he would, yeah.
So okay, who's your
No disrespect to Larry
It's
Bird.
just the times are changing. Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
your top 5 all time? Not bringing anybody from different eras into now or now into then. Just top 5
Just
all time. across the
dominance
board.
in their time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in their
Michael,
time.
Michael Jordan makes that list.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll give you a timeout real quick and let y'all think on that. Do you think, say, like, how we brought, like, Larry Bird up or whatever, if they were to come up in this generation pool, this talent pool, do you think they would be...
Larry Bird doesn't make it out
Better.
of French League, Indiana.
No. Larry Bird goes undrafted.
Yeah.
with all the trainings, everything like that, like getting them to that point to where most like AAU players and then like high school,
okay, I
college,
see.
all these
Yeah.
players, all the trainings, all the workouts.
That's true.
Do
But
you think
somebody-
that talent could be as good?
Somebody like Larry Bird probably didn't touch a single basketball until he was 22 years old.
That's what
Went
I'm
straight
saying.
to the league and then just dominated.
That's what I'm saying. He was playing in the backyard one day. He's like, you know what, dude? I can shoot.
Yeah. Got a
Next thing you know,
flyer
he's
in the
on the
mail.
team.
And he's like, yeah, we're having tryouts. Went out there, probably just balled.
Yeah.
You know.
They're like, all right, we're
Like-
picking this guy up.
I know he went to Indiana State, but he's probably 23
But
years old.
I think with Larry Bird, I think he was originally going to go to Wisconsin maybe, or no,
Was it Kentucky?
it's Indiana University, but it being so far from home, he hated it, so he decided to stay closer at home and go to Indiana State. He was widely recruited.
I feel like I heard this on KSR a couple weeks ago. He was considering Kentucky at one point.
He was, yeah.
Not just
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
it's close to Indiana.
Yeah,
I
mean,
But that's why he chose Indiana State, because it was like 20 minutes from where he grew up.
But here's the thing, too. Like, back then, they didn't have all these other stars to compete against. You knew you were pretty good, so you didn't really even have to try as much. But now you've got...
every team has 2 guys at least.
And you've got to compete against all them. Like, back then, Larry Bird, he
Right.
would shoot, so he was cream of the crop.
It was Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson every year.
Yeah.
But it's like, we didn't even... Who was on the Hawks?
Can't name them.
Yeah. Or, who was on the Knicks? Or, well, not the Knicks, but...
Jazz.
Who was on the Jazz at that point, yeah.
All right, here's something. Would you take one of like the last top 5 best college teams we've seen in the last 10 years? You think they could make the finals and maybe beat Jordan?
Yeah.
like recent Duke team, recent
Yeah.
Florida, recent Kentucky, like 2015 Kentucky.
I don't think.
I don't think they
Depends
can
on
give
who the
Jordan a run
coach
for their
is.
money.
Yeah, who's the coach?
Is it John Calipari with 3
Whoever.
timeouts?
Is it Mark? Is
sitting
it
in
Mark
his
Pope or
freaking
John
pocket?
Calipari?
Any of them.
Anthony Davis's Kentucky year would destroy 96 Bulls.
That's a pretty bold take.
Yeah, but
I know we
Anthony
had a lot of Darius Miller making some plays on that team.
Who's stopping Davis, dude? A 6'5" Rodman? That's who's guarding Anthony
It's
Davis?
kind of true.
But Davis also wasn't bulked up then.
But they also
He was like
He doesn't need to be.
150
He doesn't need to be.
yeah, and that I'm thinking about this. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, he was a brick from outside of 3 feet. All he could do is play defense. You don't think he'll lock up Jordan?
He'll lock Jordan down.
You don't think Michael Kidd
Dang.
Gilchrist only went pro because he couldn't shoot a ball to save?
No.
He couldn't lay up the ball to save his life.
No, he
He
couldn't.
literally only played defense.
He did have an ugly ass jump shot.
Yeah,
And
That
like,
was awful.
I'm willing to bet he could probably give Jordan some clamps he's never seen in his life.
Yeah, I bet he clamps Jordan. I bet Jordan scores under 10 if he's clamping him.
I mean,
I think that'd be a game.
who was
That
their
would be a
starting
game.
point guard? Was that Steve Kerr? Did he
Yes.
Should have
start?
been Steve Curry. Yeah.
Yes.
So you're telling me Steve Kerr versus Deron Lamb
Deron Lamb's dropping 60
or
on him.
Marcus Teague?
Teague, yeah.
Oh.
Teague, Lamb, Gilchrist, and AD, and
Who was
Darius Miller was another.
It'd been Teague, Lamb, Gilchrist, Terrence Jones, and then Anthony Davis.
Dude, Terrence
not,
Jones
they're not
is
stopping him, dude.
So and then the Bulls would have been Steve Kerr, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Who's their center? It was some white guy.
Pretty forgettable.
yeah, probably some farmer.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Just got done rolling hay. Got
I don't know. Rodman was a power forward, but then
Yeah.
it's like
he's
he was-
6'7". But yeah.
Yeah,
Who was
I don't know who.
Dunleavy wasn't around then, right?
No,
No.
he was like a shooter not too long ago. Who
was their center?
They probably like honestly, I picture some really tall white guy that did nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We're on the look right now.
Yeah, and you're telling me AD wouldn't put it on that guy's head?
Robert Parrish.
He's a black guy, right?
Yes.
He played for the
I thought it was like some white
Pistons.
nobody.
He was old though at that point. No.
But he wasn't like.
7 foot.
But he wasn't really good. Yeah, he had been old then, right?
I'm pretty sure Robert Parrish was on like the bad boy Pistons.
Yeah, his last year was 97.
Oh, man.
So like he missed a couple.
Anthony Davis might
He
be.
He played
Yeah, I
for
think so.
21 years.
Okay, yeah, he was ancient.
You're telling me AD can't put 30 on some dude that's 45 years old and he's
Yeah.
retired and got dang Alabama or something?
Yeah, he's dropping 40.
Yeah.
So
I think Kentucky,
AD would finish that game with 25 blocks.
Yeah. I think Kentucky wins that game pretty easily.
dang,
I mean,
you're kind of talking me into it.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so back to
Once you start thinking about it, like don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, for their era, yeah, they were really good.
Yeah.
But if you start bringing current stuff back then,
Yep.
they don't stand a chance.
top 5 all time, not
Counting
separated.
like top 5 of their era,
Yeah, just any top 5 all time.
LeBron at 1,
Jordan.
Kobe at 2, Jordan at 3, Curry at 4. I would probably put
Magic, Kareem,
no.
not that old.
Shaq.
I
Shaq.
would probably say I was torn between either Shaq or Kevin Durant.
But I just can never
That's
put
tough.
Kobe above MJ because he
See,
literally
that-
was just a carbon
That's
copy.
what I'm saying.
But he was a polished version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
but
say
he
Kobe
won
better.
less championships as well.
For that,
By
for that,
one,
Was it 5 to 6?
for their respective eras, I put Jordan at 1 because he dominated his era.
But you didn't put Pippen or Rodman top 5. You put Shaq.
mhm.
Kobe got carried. For at least what? How many championships? 2 or 3?
2.
Right?
But then Kobe did the carrying for 3.
I mean, yeah, he did earn a few, but still, it's like, I can never put him over MJ because it's like, Shaq is like twice the player that Scottie Pippen and Rodman could ever dream of being combined.
I'll tell you what kills all the Shaq aura though is the team hopping he did in the last.
Yeah.
the last 10 years of his career,
Yeah.
like the Celtics, the Heat, the Suns.
The Shaq I'm talking is Magic Shaq and Laker Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Magic Shack.
Magic
That's
Shack
Magic.
was unstoppable.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the video of Magic Shack? Absolutely, like, this might be the biggest cook I've ever seen. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan tried to garden him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see
It was
that.
warm-ups,
Dream
right?
shake. Yeah,
I saw
warm
that.
ups.
cooked.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's this way. Shaq's already in the basket.
Yeah.
So
he
Gib, what is
couldn't
your
defend
Yeah.
anything.
what does your top 5 all time look like across all eras, not including bringing this guy here, that guy there?
I don't know. I'm gonna disrespect the list because I don't know as old as basketball, so it'd be the modern era, like 2010 on guys.
Okay.
But
Give me a top 3 then.
I still have to go. I still respect Jordan, the way he changed the game and everything between on and off the court with getting paid and all that stuff. So he's still up there as number 1. I'd have to say Bron and Curry.
See, I'd have to go Jordan at 1.
LeBron.
Anything
LeBron.
else?
How was he debating this?
I'm torn between LeBron and Kobe.
LeBron.
Okay, I'll say
LeBron,
I'll say
Kobe,
LeBron because he has
100%.
dominated especially in his prime. He dominated the league. Okay, I'll put LeBron at 2. I'll be fair. Kobe at 3. Steph at 4, and then curveball here, Larry Bird at 5.
I don't hate that. I was
Yeah.
very close to that.
I think we can all agree your top 3 is some mix of Jordan, LeBron, Kobe
Yeah.
in some order. I like the inclusion of Steph Curry there.
Greatest shooter
Just
to ever
because, like,
live.
from
Yeah.
20,
Yeah.
let's say 2013 to 2015, Steph Curry was dominant. You could not
Yeah.
stop him.
No, he changed the entire game
He
of
changed.
basketball
He has
ever
changed
since
the
he did
game.
that.
Changed the game.
He's done more for the game than Jordan did.
I won't argue that. I won't argue that.
I don't know. Jordan didn't kind of create it.
Yeah, I think Jordan's ball legacy comes down to especially the shoes.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
that's a good
like
point.
Jordans are going to be around.
Jordan 1s are still going crazy.
Do
It's
you want to
been
go out and
28
buy a pair
years.
of Steph Curry shoes?
No, I also don't want to go buy a pair of Jordans.
But if you ask 100 people, how many of them are going to say, "I'd rather go out and buy a pair of Steph Curry shoes over a pair of
What
Air
age?
Jordans"?
But-
range?
Yeah, that really is a big factor.
Braylon's age, he's buying Curry's.
I don't think so.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, they don't buy Jordans.
They're like, who's this old washed up?
Yeah,
bard?
that is true. That is different now. But also,
Why's
like
his eyes
I'm
yellow?
talking about
argument
the
is
game of ball as a whole.
Jordan, yeah, he revolutionized the entire game of
This is
ball.
also-
Got kids outdoors. He had like everybody wanted to be like Mike. He had that whole movement and everything.
Yeah.
He got kids out there, and that was a big thing. But then Curry came along and changed the entire game of basketball for everybody ever,
Yeah.
and they only shoot threes
Now
now.
centers are shooting threes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all because Curry was just
That,
different.
and that, what did
So-
they do? They won him 4 championships.
Yeah,
I would love to, like, if we could go back in time and like see what it looked like us playing basketball in 2010. Like, us down here, whenever we'd play basketball together, what did it look like 2010 versus if we went out and played today?
A lot more threes today.
Right, I mean, what did we do before
Drive
pulling up
the
from
lane,
the curve? Yeah, we were.
Pulling up from the
free throw.
the box, yeah.
I mean,
Get a mid-range wing shot.
right. The idea of shooting threes. I mean, don't get me wrong, we still jacked them up.
But you kind of had to be him with it, and like it still was like coach mad at you, like why are you pulling so many threes?
Yeah.
But then you went like 3 for 5. Now today they're like, you're shooting 3 for 5. Like why aren't you shooting more?
Yeah. We want you taking 12 a game.
Yeah, like, you need to just be firing that thing.
And like the thing about Jordan, like dribbling behind the back, that is pretty iconic. But like, if you, I don't know, I feel like it's just a different mindset today. Like if you put a kid out there, if you don't let a kid watch basketball at all, and you give them a ball in a month, they'll be dribbling behind the back between the legs.
you think so?
Mm-hmm.
He never watched ball in his life. I don't think he
so.
drove. I don't think he
A
would.
month.
You don't learn. You got to see stuff. You kind of learn it over time.
But like,
You gotta think
if a
like, I'm
defender's
gonna try
on you,
that.
you're gonna just instinctually
Pick that
try
ball
to-
up. Panic.
You're staying in front of you,
Yeah.
crisscrossing back and forth.
You're gonna look like
You
the
might-
old heads.
You might go between the leg one time, but you're not doing any behind the back or behind the back through
They
the
would.
leg.
They would dribble with one hand back and just start patting the ball down in front of them. like if no one knew what actual basketball was and they were never taught, there's no way they would be behind the back.
It's like when Stanley plays basketball in the
Dude, I
office.
think they would.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly like that. That's literally how they dribbled back in the day.
But like, I don't know, dude. I think it's just like a era thing.
But they would have to see ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's something you have
If they
to
see it,
like-
kids these days will do it. And if they see it like 2 or 3 times, they'll do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Braylon has way better handles than I've ever had in my life, and he's a kid, but he grew up watching, more intense, more crazy things.
You're
than,
watching Steph Curry.
Exactly. Versus growing up, like what we did, we're like, okay, cool, crossover to the front's cool, or that step back between the leg, that's like crazy. And at that point, you still were like, I watched someone else do that. I want to try that.
Yeah.
My question is
I see both
is
ways.
any kid these days taking the Dirk fadeaway?
No.
Nobody's
No,
doing
no,
that
No
anymore.
shot.
Nobody
They're
does that
pulling from half
anymore.
court before they
If they
take
do,
a
they're doing it
Dirk
from the
fadeaway.
3-point line.
Yeah, everybody's dancing from the logo and pulling.
The Dirk fadeaway, kicking the leg out, dude, that was
That's an
goated.
offensive foul now. Nigga.
Yeah, you
true.
can't do that.
Yeah. Times change.
Times have
It
changed.
is cool just seeing how everything's evolved, though.
Yeah, we used to do Kobe
Kobe.
ways,
Yeah.
like
How many times you throw a piece of
Dirks
paper in the
and,
trash can and shout Kobe?
All the time.
You think kids are saying Curry every
Yeah,
time they
but
do
I'll
it?
say
guarantee
Curry.
it.
Yeah.
I say
I
Curry.
think
I'll still
that-
say
that-
Kobe.
yeah.
I'll say Kobe till the day I die.
I'll do an underhand toss up and just watch it float and like Curry.
Yeah,
Just
Never
watch
hit
it.
the rim.
Yeah, Kobe, that's a classic, but like Curry,
If I'm
wasn't-
pulling up from half court, it's
he
Curry.
couldn't even dream of being half the shooter that Curry ever was.
No.
I might even put Curry as number 2 all time.
Yeah.
His
But
scoring
that's
potential, scoring history is just insane.
Yeah.
You can't disrespect that.
All right, we're going to transition here because I like the top 5 talk. This is the debate I had all the time in the shop. Going to name drop Paul Dunn here. I've told y'all stories about Paul. Me and him would go at it head to head at least once a week. Top 5 quarterbacks in NFL history. All right, he had one guy he absolutely hated. One guy that I think's in that top 5 list. I want to see what you guys say. I won't say who it is.
Top 5.
Quarterbacks
Tom
of all
Brady,
time.
number 1.
Brady.
Tom Brady
easy.
number 1.
Brady's one.
Peyton Manning,
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Drew Brees,
Drew
Yeah.
Brees, probably Dan Marino.
Steve Young, or Joe Montana. I mean, we'll
I would
go
say
there.
Joe Montana.
I put Aaron Rodgers over them. That's just me. That might be me
Are
being
you
biased.
thinking about current era?
No,
or
all time.
all time in their own era?
Yep.
I think Aaron Rodgers breaks that top 5. I mean, he's probably the number 5.
That's close.
And that might be me being a little bit biased.
Joe Montana.
Number 1 and 2, I feel like aren't really
Locked in.
debatable.
Yeah,
Locked in.
the excuse me. List started out the same every time. It was Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And then, 3, 4, and 5 is where, preference
gets
kind of
weird.
starts playing in.
I think Drew Brees had like an amazing. Was he still got the most passing yards in
Yeah.
NFL history, or most
Yeah,
passing
yeah.
touchdowns?
Drew Brees went
I
crazy.
think Brady broke that, didn't he?
But Drew Brees still has one of them.
Yeah,
He did play in a dome his entire career, which that's what people don't take into account.
yeah.
Dome play the
Envir-
entire year versus
No wind.
New England, where there's 3 foot of
Snow.
snow.
Or Green Bay, where it's
Yeah.
a frozen tundra for most of the season.
And then there's also Peyton Manning. He
Dome.
also played in a dome his entire career, but minus the last 2 or 3 years. And it's like Tom Brady did all that stuff
Yeah.
in the elements. So it's like guaranteed number 1.
Yeah,
Rings,
I don't-
talent, yards, touchdowns in the elements. Like Tom Brady is like undisputed. And then it's like Peyton Manning's, most touchdowns or whatever. And then Drew Brees, most yards. It was something weird like that.
I think Tom Brady passed him on the yards. But
Okay.
I think he may still have a touchdown.
I think Peyton Manning has the most touchdowns ever in a single season, but Drew Brees might have it total.
Career.
I really don't think you can even make an argument for Tom Brady not being one.
Oh, no. Tom Brady's one.
Maybe, and this is just me being nitpicky, the deflate gate.
He just had his balls how he
But-
liked them, man.
He went to another team
He did the same thing.
And
still
that's
beat the. He literally beat Patrick Mahomes'
That-
team like 40-6.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
just me being nitpicky, and he
Patrick
still goes to another
Mahomes?
team.
And
Dude,
Mahomes,
Not even
I'm
close.
bringing him
he's
up in
the
top
greatest
10.
ever.
No.
Then why did a 45-year-old Brady drop 40 on your head and embarrass you?
And I got embarrassed this past year against
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, who was
That's
what, a
the 40
second,
to
third
6.
round pick.
Yeah. And so this was before Patrick Mahomes, popped off.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we would have this debate, it was always Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and then where me and him came into arguments was I would throw Brett Favre in that top 5. All right, and so hold on. And the reason I'm saying this is because Joe Montana was brought up, right? This man, he would die on the hill. Joe Montana's greatest quarterback of all time. All right, if you look
at
at
him over Brady.
No, not over Brady, but he had him over Brett Favre. All right. If you look at the stats, Brett Favre had a better completion percentage, more passing yards in his career, more passing touchdowns, less interceptions.
I know he was pretty interception prone.
He for
He
sure
was a gunslinger.
He was a gunslinger, but that also bit him in the ass.
He was Jameis
several
Winston in the 90s.
He for sure it was because I wrote it down one day.
Yeah.
Me and him, we're going back and forth. He had a better completion percentage, more passing yards, more passing touchdowns guaranteed than Joe Montana. So it's like, brother, if we're talking about greatest quarterbacks of all time,
See, in my head, I have Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre.
I do too. Just because,
I don't argue with that.
just because of the interception rate.
Yeah.
Like,
I never really
and
watched
his mobility,
Joe Montana.
interceptions.
He's more
like,
mobile. He had less to work with, and I just think he's an overall better passer than.
Yeah, I think they
was.
upgrade from Favre.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, for
Rodgers.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
So, like, I could never see putting Favre up there. Who's a little bit too much.
Like he would
Too
go
risky.
as far as to say like Brett Favre wasn't top 50. I was like,
You know,
bro,
Aaron Rodgers went like
No,
Bro,
not
you're
top
crazy.
50. Yeah,
Not top 50 is crazy. Top 10 maybe.
I could see Brett Favre rounding out the
Top
into the
10.
top 10.
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
2012, Aaron Rodgers went I think like 10 games without an interception. Brett Favre couldn't go 10 passes without an
That
interception.
is
No,
true.
yeah.
But yeah, the
I
argument
love Brett Favre. I'm
Yeah.
a huge cheesehead.
the argument we always came down to is he was like, no, Joe Montana is better than Brett Favre. I was like, well, passing percentage wise, passing yards,
That
and
is kinda
touchdown wise,
crazy.
That is crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that with, like, of course, we don't actually know what Joe Montana was like. But
Right.
you always hear that he was the greatest ever.
I would love to be able to like
You ask
scroll
your
back
dad,
through my
he'll say, yeah,
Snapchat.
Joe Montana.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to scroll back through my Snapchat pictures and find where I wrote them down.
Well, who was number 5 on that list then? Was that Favre then
That was-
Montana? And he had Montana and...
No, I would say Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, probably Aaron Rodgers, then Brett Favre. That's what I would do.
Big Ben, Philip Rivers.
Definitely not Phil Rivers.
Big Ben at home cuts that top 5. Big Ben away is out of the top 100.
Who also,
He,
in fact,
he
could
would
beat
throw
Aaron Rodgers.
7 touchdowns if it was a home game,
600 yards.
but he would throw 0 touchdowns and 4 picks if it was away. Like, I don't know what it was. He was just dialed only at home, though. But he's still goated, but I don't know if he's top 10. Maybe top 10, maybe like 10th.
I think I put Brock Osweiler number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just looked it up because now there's a website that actually does all this for you. I was a little wrong, but I was pretty close to right. All right. So completion percentage, Joe Montana had a 63, where Brett Favre had a 62.
Okay,
So pretty much even. Passing yards, Joe Montana's career 40,551. Brett Favre 71,838.
smoked him on that.
He nearly doubled him.
Yeah.
All right. Passing touchdowns, Montana 273. Brett Favre 508.
Smoked him on that.
All right. Interceptions, obviously, going to be a
It's gonna be
little skewed.
Yeah.
139 to 336.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
All right. Then Hall of Fame, both of them. Obviously, Joe Montana, 4 Super Bowls, where Brett Favre had 1. Pro Bowls, Brett Favre had 11. Joe Montana had 8. All Pro, 6 to 5 for Favre. MVP, 3 to 2 for Favre. Offensive Player of the Year, 1 and 1.
Favre won 3 MVPs?
He
Oh,
did.
shot.
AP MVP, yes.
I did not know that.
So, I mean,
I would say
Yeah.
Favre's up there in like all the top stats. It's
right,
like
we're hearing numbers.
5 to 7 overall.
Don't tell me this
I'm
guy.
telling you,
top 50.
he was a gunslinger,
Yeah,
but it's just those interceptions what hurts him.
yeah. And then how many of those interceptions, though, came on the Vikings or the Jets?
How many championships?
Montana did have more championships.
Yeah, Montana probably like 4 or 5.
He had 4, yeah.
And how many Favre had? Did he even have 1?
He had 1.
He had one. Aaron Rodgers has 1.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers has 1.
Favre did have 1.
Yeah.
I
They
thought
won
Rodgers
in the
had 2.
90s.
He's 1.
Really 1?
He's only been to 1 Super Bowl.
Oh, does Big Ben have 2?
Big Ben has like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
He's got several. He's got several.
He's got 2.
I mean, I don't know.
Hey Siri.
He's got more than one,
He's got more than Aaron Rodgers. I'll say that.
Okay.
which only takes 2.
Yeah.
2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So 2006, 2009,
Yep.
and then he played in Super Bowl, 2011,
And
against,
lost Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, lost Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't hear any Tony Romo in the top 5.
That's because he's not there.
Maybe top 50.
Nice.
Ty commentating on the game.
That's crazy. Yeah. I think Dak's better than Romo.
God.
Ooh, what do you think?
Well, neither one of them can win a playoff game.
Resident
so.
Cowboys fan.
Dak at least led the scoring. The Cowboys had the most points per game in an entire season. I think back-to-back years. And it's like, Romo could never do that.
No, they both choke.
And I think
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb's better than Dez is.
I agree with
Yeah,
that. I agree with that.
Like,
You know,
Dez is
I
good and all,
saw
but-
today where the Cowboys' new head coach is changing the offensive cadences this season. And the one thing that's going,
Yeah,
Here we
go.
Yeah.
it's going.
Speaking of Des Bryant, that wasn't a catch.
That was not a catch. He dropped it.
That was a
He dropped
100% catch.
He dropped it.
It was a catch before they made the rule that it wasn't a catch.
But that was before the rule. That was before. It used to be you couldn't play with helmets and shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Well, now you got to make non-football moves, a juke, a spin move, and
I'm
then a
saying
catch.
for the current rule period, that was not a catch.
He literally caught the ball, took 2 steps, or like a step or 2 while diving from the end zone because he was too athletic.
I don't think he was
and
diving. It was
called
more like
back.
he was falling.
No, he
He
dove.
dove.
He dove. And when he was reaching out the ball, he hit the ground too hard. And they said, "Oh, you didn't complete it to the ground." It's like, well, I caught it, took a step, then dove.
Yeah.
But
That's
he
a
didn't make a
touchdown.
spin move, so.
Sounds like it should have been a ball out of the back of the end zone, 2 points, give us the ball.
Yeah, if you want to make that argument. Either
I think
way,
it was a touchdown.
either
Yeah.
way, he dropped it.
He did drop it.
He did no such thing.
No catch. Incomplete pass.
Did the ball break the plane with it in his
Yes.
possession?
Yep.
Touchdown. Doesn't matter what happens then after it.
But
No,
that was not
it
the rule.
does.
That was not the rule. At that time, that was
Wait
not
a
the rule.
minute.
No,
that
that
is
was the
definitely the rule.
Once the ball
Yeah,
crosses the
you
plane,
can
it doesn't
fumble.
But he
matter.
didn't.
Yeah.
If a millimeter, the front tip of that ball touches that
It's a
first
touchdown.
blade of white
It's a touchdown.
grass, literally, you gets tipped out. Yeah, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you fumble, you can
Refs
get
said
it
it
punched out of your
Refs-
hand. It go out of bounds. It doesn't
I-
matter. If it
What-
crosses.
What?
But they didn't call it a catch because he didn't take 2 steps
That
after
just
the catch.
brings me to my point. What was it ruled by the refs?
I'm not going to argue with the referee.
But he had 2
I'm not.
feet in
I would
bounds.
never argue with
He
the
had 2
referee.
feet in bounds.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
2 feet in bounds. Ball crosses the plane.
Should have been a catch.
But
Touchdown.
what was it ruled? Tell me
As a
what.
non-Packers fan,
What,
that's a touchdown.
what was it ruled?
That's a stupid call.
No. That's not what I asked. What was it ruled?
It was a stupid call.
No, answer my question. Was
Should've
it
been a touchdown.
was it ruled a catch or was it
Should've-
ruled incomplete?
Should have been a touchdown.
Stupid call on the
I'm
field.
asking one more time.
Y'all say you never argue with the refs. If that happened to Kentucky,
We're not arguing with the
y'all
refs.
would Kill somebody.
We're not arguing with the refs.
Absolutely.
What was it
We almost
ruled?
did at the Georgia game because
That was a pick. I don't care. I've watched that back. At one point, I accepted it. I was like, he was incomplete. And then I seen it again like 3 weeks ago. I was like, that should have been an interception.
I was at the game.
That's an
Should've been
interception.
The place went wild.
But you can't argue with them.
I'll argue that one. There's two refs I'll argue with. That one, and then Kentucky versus Wisconsin. Are we not going to call a shot clock violation?
Is that the year the Harrison twins stepped out of bounds 3 games in a row and they didn't call it?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what you're
Different
talking
season.
about. Yeah,
Huh.
different Harrison twins.
Huh.
It might have been Billy and Bob Harrison.
Could have swore it happened.
I don't think so. No, don't sound right. But I mean, you agree that was an interception?
Oh, for sure.
We'd have won that game.
We would have. We should have on plenty of occasions.
That's crazy. You were there.
I was there. I don't know. I don't remember how or why we decided to go to that last second,
Worked out.
but it worked out really well.
I mean, actually, it didn't because we lost. But
I mean, that was probably like overall the best game I've been to though.
oh,
Because like we should have got destroyed, and we barely lost.
yeah, I would love to go to a good game like that.
Like I don't think I can. Besides like a winning game like that, I
Yeah.
don't think there's many games that I could actually go to that's going to trump that. That environment that was constantly just roaring in there, like it was the best Kentucky environment I've seen, even like watching videos of it.
Yeah.
Y'all remember where we were?
We were at, what was that place called?
Dale Hollow.
Yeah, but what was the rest? Mike's Landings. Yep. And we were there. Stewart had a pizza. Who else? Who else had a pizza?
I had a pizza.
You had a pizza. Stewart had a pizza. We had some fish. We just finished golfing for the day.
That's why we went. Y'all were out of town. We're like,
Yep.
and it was around February, wasn't it?
No.
No, it was
February.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
September,
I was
my
thinking
birthday.
basketball.
September.
Yeah.
So we went to a game around my birthday, but that was basketball. But yeah, I don't know what made me and Tyler decide, hey, we're just gonna go to this. It's only like $100 or whatever. Only like
it was wild,
for both of us.
Y'all got in cheap. All right, guys. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Kentucky sports or sports news in general?
Gonna be chasing 9.
Chasing 9. Otega Oweh's coming back. Best team in the country. Jaden Quaintance. Can't beat it.
Go Cats.
All right, guys. It's been the Kentucky Prime Sports Podcast. Appreciate you all listening. Hope everybody has a good weekend. And
Go Cats.
go Cats.